Welcome everyone. In the previous class we have discussed the chemical nature of the enzyme and the various cofactors which are associated with the enzymes, that is non-protein part which are along with the present along with the enzymes. Okay. Now in today's class we will see the different factors which will be affecting the enzyme action. Factors which will be affecting the enzyme action. Here there are three factors which are affecting which will be having the effect on the enzyme. The first is the temperature. The second is the pH, and the third factor which affects the rate of enzyme, which affects the enzyme or the enzymatic action is the substrate concentration. Three factors which affects the enzymatic action. The first one is the temperature, the second one is the pH, and the third is the substrate concentration. Okay. And for each one, whether it is temperature or pH, we have three cardinal points. We have three cardinal points for measuring, that is here it is minimum, optimum and the maximum. For each factor we have three cardinal points, whether it is temperature or whether it is pH, we have three cardinal points, that is minimum temperature, optimum temperature and maximum temperature. Minimum pH, optimum pH and maximum pH. So here for this both temperature and pH we have three cardinal factors. Minimum temperature, the temperature below which there is no enzymatic activity. The temperature below which there is no enzymatic activity. Then for example, if 40 degrees that is 10 degrees centigrade, 10 is the minimum, below 10 there won't be any enzymatic activity. So this below 10, the temperature below 10 degrees centigrade is called as the minimum temperature. So minimum temperature is the temperature below which we won't find any enzymatic activity. Then optimum temperature is the temperature at which you find the maximum enzymatic activity. Now we don't get confused between this maximum and the optimum. Optimum is the required concentration, that is required temperature or the required pH at which the enzyme action will be the maximum. Enzyme action will be the maximum here, and in this maximum when the temperature is maximum, here what is maximum temperature? Maximum temperature is the temperature beyond which there won't be any enzymatic activity. Minimum below which there is no enzymatic activity, maximum beyond which there won't be any enzymatic activity, and optimum is the point where we find the maximum enzyme action. Optimum is the point where we find the maximum enzymatic action. So here that is three factors are there which will be affecting the rate of enzyme action: temperature, pH and the substrate concentration. Temperature, pH and the substrate concentration will take up one by one. The first one is the temperature. The first is the temperature. Now how temperature affects the enzymatic action? The temperature, if that is the optimum, that is the minimum max, the range of temperature at which we find the enzymatic activity maximum, that is good enzymatic activity, is 25 degrees to 40 degrees centigrade. The temperature, the normal range is from 25 to 40 degrees. At this temperature now the enzymatic activity will be good. So here now if we plot this, if we plot a graph with temperature at one side and the enzyme action at the other side, temperature at one side, enzyme action at other side. So here at this point, at some point here we get a peak, at this point the enzymatic action is the maximum. At this point the enzymatic action is the maximum. So here this one at this temperature at this temperature, for example here at this temperature we are taking, okay, and at this temperature the enzymatic action will be the maximum, because this is the peak. This is the peak. Here the enzymatic action is the maximum. So here the enzymatic action is maximum at this temperature, and this temperature is called as the optimum temperature. Optimum temperature. Below the optimum temperature, as the that is below the before this optimum temperature, as we go, that is this side. So what will happen, as the temperature decreases, the enzymatic activity will also decrease. The enzymatic activity will also decrease, but this is the optimum temperature. The enzymatic activity will be maximum at the optimum temperature, but with the increase in the temperature, as we move forward from this optimum temperature, as the temperature is increasing, so what is happening to the enzyme action? You see the graph. At maximum optimum temperature it is maximum, but when we are moving here, so what is happening here? The temperature is increasing. With the increase in temperature, you see here, with just increase in temperature, what we are seeing is a decrease in the enzymatic action. As the temperature is increasing, the enzymatic action is decreasing. The enzymatic action is decreasing. So here, even at the suboptimum, just below in our body, just before this optimum temperature, this is called as suboptimum temperature. This is called as suboptimum temperature. Suboptimum temperature in our body. At this suboptimum temperature, the enzymatic action is maximum. The enzymatic action is maximum in our body at suboptimum temperature. Just below, a little below optimum temperature, the enzymatic activity will be maximum in our body. Okay, and here what happens, with the slight increase in the suboptimal temperature, the enzyme activity is also increasing. This is the suboptimal, just before this optimum temperature, that is the suboptimum temperature. At the suboptimum temperature, the enzyme activity is also good. So here all the enzymes in our body act, that is they will be giving maximum results at this suboptimum temperature. So what happens is, with the slight increase in temperature, that is from suboptimum to the optimum temperature, the enzymatic action will also increase. So in our body, most of the enzymes are active. And they are producing maximum product at this suboptimum temperature. Okay, but with the slight increase in temperature, the product is also increased, as the enzymatic activity increases. But beyond this optimum temperature, as the temperature increases, the rate of enzyme action will be decreasing. So that means at optimum temperature, the enzymatic activity, that is near this optimum temperature, the enzymatic activity is maximum, and below the optimum temperature and above the optimum temperature, the enzymatic activity decreases. Okay, at minimum temperature, beyond below which there is no enzymatic activity. Okay, below the minimum temperature, the enzymes becomes inactive. That is at low temperature, that is at very low temperatures. The enzymes will become inactive. This very low temperature is beyond, that is before the minimum temperature. The temperature before minimum, at one point after this temperature, you won't find, the enzymes will not be working. The enzymes will become inactive. This is the minimum temperature. 10 should be the minimum temperature. Below 10 degrees means it is very low temperature. At very low temperature, the enzymes will be inactive. The enzymes will become inactive at very high temperature also. At very high temperature also the enzymes will be denatured, enzymes will be broken, because we said that enzymes are in most of the enzymes are in the tertiary structure, that is they are coiling above one another. How they are that is coiling, how they are that is because of the hydrogen bonds. That is because of the hydrogen bonds, when it is coiled over one another. So here hydrogen bonds will be formed between them. So because of those hydrogen bonds a compact structure will be formed. But what happens is when there is high temperature, when the temperature is high, those hydrogen bonds will be broken down. Those hydrogen bonds will be broken down. When the bonds break, the structure will be demolished. When the because of the bonds only the structure is intact, but with the that is with the destruction of the bonds, with the breaking of the bonds, as the high temperature, as the temperature is very high, the bonds will break. With the breaking of the bonds, the structure will be demolished, and when the structure is demolished, so what happens? The enzymes get denatured. The enzymes get denatured. So that is why at high temperatures enzymes get denatured, because of which what happens? The enzymatic activity decreases, and at low temperatures the enzymes will become inactive. So that is why the enzymatic activity will be decreased. So at optimum temperature the enzymatic activity will be more, enzymatic activity will be maximum. So this is how temperature affects the enzyme action. At very high temperature, what happens? At optimum temperature, with increase in temperature, here this is the suboptimum, with a little increase in temperature the enzymatic activity is also increased. But then as the temperature increases the enzymatic activity decreases. What happens? Increase in the temperature, enzyme activity increases. If we see from here, it was 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees. So with the increase in temperature, the enzyme activity is also increasing. So if this is 10, the enzymatic activity was here. With the 20, it is here. So it is continuously increasing. With the increase in temperature, the enzymatic activity is increasing. But after increasing for a certain period of time, for a certain temperature, then again it starts decreasing. The enzymatic activity, it starts decreasing. So with the increase in temperature, the enzymatic activity was increasing. Now with further increase in temperature after a point, after max, that is optimum point, so what will happen? It will decrease. It will decrease. So this is how the temperature will be affecting the enzymatic action. It is one of the factor which affects the enzymatic action. Now coming to this next one. Here these two applications of these enzymes we use at very low temperatures. We use this one in refrigerators. At very low temperatures the food will be preserved. The food will be preserved at very low temperatures. How? What happens at the very low temperature? The enzyme will be inactive. The enzyme will become inactive and the food will be preserved. At very high temperature, the example is boiling, heating the food. We preserve the food by either keeping in the refrigerator or by heating it. So here keeping in this refrigerator means at low temperature. What happens? The enzymes will become inactive and the food will be stored. It won't be spoiled for a certain period. So now, and at high temperatures, so here we can even preserve the food by heating it. Heating means providing high temperature. At this, when we heat the food, now whatever the enzymes are present inside the food will get denatured. Means the enzymes are not in a position to affect that food. The enzymes are not in a position to affect that food because the enzymes have been denatured. Now it won't do anything to the food material. So that is how we preserve the food material, either by heating it or by freezing it. So freezing means low temperature, the enzyme will become inactive. At high temperature, the enzymes will get denatured. After heating for a while, okay, the enzymes will get denatured. Then again when it is cooled down, the enzymes will not go back to active. After denaturation, the food is the non-living thing. So, if we transfer it into the living thing now, then if it was in the living thing, then the denatured enzyme will have again become active with the decrease in the temperature. But as the food is a non-living thing, as once the organ, that is the enzymes are already denatured, the enzymes will not become active when we stop heating the food. So, here these are the two applications where we use of this to preserve the food material. Now coming to this next factor, that is the pH. So, in this pH is nothing but amount of hydrogen ion, that is hydrogen concentration, hydrogen ion concentration, amount of hydrogen ion, or we can even say pH is nothing but the concentration of hydrogen ions, H plus ions is the pH. So, what happens is that almost all the enzymes are they will have the maximum activity at neutral when the enzymes when the pH is neutral. Most of the enzymes will have the enzymatic action will be high when the pH of the enzyme is neutral, but there are certain enzymes, most of the enzymes they work, that is the enzymatic action is high at the neutral temperature, but there are many enzymes which work at different pH. All the enzymes will not work at the same pH. Most of the enzyme work at the neutral pH, but there are many more enzymes which work at different pH. Some enzymes will be more active in acidic pH, some enzymes will be more active in basic pH, some enzymes will be more active at neutral pH. Amylase is the enzyme which is active, which shows high activity when it is in the neutral pH. 7 is the neutral, just below 7, 6.8 is amylase is very active, that is amylase activity of amylase is maximum at 6.8 concentration, pH concentration. 6.8 is just neutral itself, because with 2.7 it will be neutral. But when you see this pepsin, it has it works maximum with the pH 1.6 to 1.8. 1.6 to 1.8 means it is highly acidic. So, pepsin works in highly acidic condition. Okay. Then we have trypsin. Trypsin works in slightly basic condition. Pepsin we see in the stomach. In the stomach HCl will be there. Okay. Food is digested by the action of HCl. So, what happens? The HCl means it is highly acidic. So, pepsin works in acidic condition. The pH of pepsin is somewhere 1.6 to 1.8. So, 1.6 to 1.8 means it will be highly acidic. The pH of pepsin is highly acidic. pH of trypsin, it is an enzyme which we find in intestine. It is an enzyme which we find in intestine. In intestine, we have slightly alkaline pH. So, here this trypsin works at 8.6 to 8.8. It is basic. Neutral se aage. It is basic. So, here enzymes have different optimum pH, but all enzymes have same optimal temperature. Optimum temperature is different for different enzymes. For amylase, the optimum temperature is near to neutral. For pepsin, the optimum temperature is acidic, that is 1.6 to 1.8. And for this trypsin to work, the optimum pH is different. It is slightly basic in nature. Optimum pH is slightly basic. So, optimum pH will be different for different enzymes. Optimum pH will be different for different enzymes, but the optimum temperature is same for all the enzymes. For all the enzymes, the optimum temperature is the same. Above optimum temperature, the enzymes will get denatured. Below minimum temperature, the enzymatic below this temperature, optimum temperature, the enzymatic activity decreases, but the pH is different for all. Optimum pH is the same, it is the range from 25 to 40 degrees. Optimum temperature is, the range of optimum temperature is 25 to 40 degrees. Within this temperature range, the enzymes are active. The enzymes are active, they show maximum activity. They show maximum activity and the product form is also maximum. So, it is the temperature. This is the optimum temperature, the range, that is 25 to 40. But can we give a pH like this? No. All enzymes have different pH, but all enzymes have same optimal temperature, which ranges from 25 to 40 degrees. So, this was about the two factors which affects the rate of enzyme action. One we have seen is the temperature and other we have seen is the pH. Now, in the next video we will move on to the third factor which affects the enzyme action, and the third factor is substrate concentration, which we will see in the next video.